Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the All Time High Podcast. I am your host, General Mort, and today we're going to be talking about shitcoins, or altcoins, really. Of course, first off, we're going to talk about a little bit of news. A lot of really, really exciting stuff happened this week, actually, in the world of cryptocurrency. The first thing that is very exciting, if you guys don't already know, Mort got a new job. Um, Very exciting, woohoo. I'm going to be working on the product team for a blockchain mobile game called Upland. So if you guys want to check it out, feel free. It's called Upland. You can play it on your phone, and it's pretty cool. It's basically virtual Monopoly. So very excited to get started with them. I think we're going to do a lot of really cool things. So, but nonetheless, enough about me. Let's talk about some news in the actual crypto world. First off, Dapper Labs, who is the team behind NBA Top Shots, just closed a $305 million investment round, which is super exciting and very kind of bullish for the NFT space. They're kind of one of the market leaders in that area right now, so really good to see some new institutional investment get in there, which means that I would expect that there will be much more to follow. On another note, Aave, which is a popular lending protocol, just launched a sidechain with Polygon, otherwise known as Matic, and that means that you can now participate in Aave and basically lend your money on their platform for, like, I think I saw somebody do it the other day. They paid 75 cents to deposit their money. That was their gas fee, but you do pay it in the Matic token, so you will have to have some of that. But that's crazy. That's like a really, really big update, and now I think more people will start to get involved, and once that stuff starts coming to like decentralized exchanges and whatnot, that's going to be a really exciting time. Additionally, Coinbase is going public via direct listing officially April 15th, so that's going to be kind of a interesting experiment in my opinion. I think there's going to be a lot of institutional interest, and I would expect that to pop off, honestly. So but we'll see how it goes. Also, Goldman Sachs, I kind of mentioned it earlier if you were watching, but Goldman Sachs has previously stated that Bitcoin, all the cryptos are going to zero, and they've kind of lightened up on that. They actually are also getting ready to offer digital asset services in Q2 of this year. Coinbase will be available for trading. Yeah, it's going to go live on the stock exchange. So that's very exciting, April 15th. So you will be able to invest in Coinbase if you don't want to invest in cryptocurrency directly. Additionally, Fidelity, huge, what's the word? Exchange, a stock exchange, I guess. I don't know. Is that a stock exchange? Is that how you would phrase that? I don't know. Whatever. You know what it is. Fidelity just filed for a Bitcoin ETF, so just shows that more institutional players are getting interested in trying to create opportunities for their customers. More exciting, Visa, which is one of the largest payment processors in the world, is now going to be settling transactions using USDC on the Ethereum blockchain. So this is huge. If it proves to Visa that this is actually a cheaper, more efficient option for them, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't start building these bridges between the traditional finance world and the digital asset world. So that's really exciting. They do 401ks and stuff. Fidelity, yeah, but you can also buy stock and stuff on their platform. So, and then, sorry, lastly, PayPal is also going to be bringing cryptocurrency payments to all of their 29 million merchants. That's crazy. That's really, really exciting news. So just more institutional involvement. More of these massive players are starting to get involved, and that just continues to reassure me that this bull run that we're seeing is just nothing like what it was in 2017. I mean, everybody hated us in 2017 and 2018. People said that this was going to zero and that it wasn't going to last, and some people said it was a scam and a Ponzi scheme. Well, there are some of those out there, and that's actually what we're going to talk about today. But point being is there is so much more real, tangible interest this time around, and people who have a lot of money and who can really, change people's hearts and minds, right? So very exciting stuff. That's the news, though. And now we're going to jump into it, right? So today's episode is called The World of Shitcoins. And that's because there are a lot of coins out there that are frankly shit. Most people refer to these as altcoins. People might, call, things like Ethereum still altcoins, but they're not. So really what altcoins are, I would say, are, for the most part, they're low market cap coins. Stuff that has the potential to pump really hard, right? So altcoins, we'll say for now, low cap coins. So this means that their total value, their total market cap, their total worth is fairly small in comparison to things like Bitcoin and Ethereum. And that usually means that these have potential for really high gains, sometimes anywhere between like 5 to 100 times, right? Which is super attractive. Obviously, that's like, obviously everybody wants to make 100 times their money. That's really cool, but it's really hard. And a lot of these things are garbage, and that's kind of what I want to talk to you guys about today. So, most of these coins have, in my opinion, little to no utility. A lot of these are also what they call meme coins, and I'm sure you're familiar with at least some of these, like Dogecoin. So to give you guys some example, you got Doge. To be fair, Doge actually has a pretty high market cap, but I'm gonna include it anyways because it didn't do anything really. It's not very good. You got Doge, you got Hoj, you got Grumpy, you have SafeMoon, SafeStar, just a bunch of these like really, I don't know. I swear that these things sell themselves on the promise of just like massive gains, and that's pretty much it. Like they don't actually seek to do anything. They're just like make a lot of money here, which I think sucks because I think people who get sold by this bullshit and they buy in and they lose all their money, it just turns them away forever. So a big part of why I'm doing this episode is because I want you guys to be conscious of what you're getting involved in and make sure that you can protect yourself and hopefully invest in some safer things at the same time if you really do want to gamble on shitcoins, right? So, a lot of these projects are kind of hard to figure out whether they are, they're garbage or not. The website might look legit. They might have some interesting promises. They'll say they're going to do X, Y, and Z, but you really have to ask yourself, are they actually doing those things? And are they actually going to deliver on those promises? Most of the time, the answer is no. And people just get caught up in the narrative. It's going to solve X, Y, and Z, and, you can, your money's going to get inflated by X amount, all this shit. So, problem is though that many of these are just subject to pump and dump schemes, and that's basically where traders can earn massive gains, but people are also subject to huge losses. So it's easy to get sucked in. People get enamored by the potential to make a shit ton of money, but you have to be careful because it is super duper duper easy to lose everything. And sometimes it's not even a scam. Sometimes it just doesn't have a future or potential. Or sometimes it does, but even still, there might be low market cap coins that aren't scams, but they're still going to be subject to pump and dumps because they have low liquidity, low market cap, so people with a lot of money can move the markets very easily. So the first thing we're going to talk about is to beware of, like I just mentioned, pump and dumps. Now, what is a pump and dump? Like I said, markets for low cap coins are easy to manipulate because there isn't a lot of money moving. So if somebody suddenly comes in with $1 million and makes a buy, like that's going to push the price really fast, right? But then they can immediately sell right after that, and that's going to dump the price. So sometimes these traders and these traders with deep pockets are often referred to as whales. They'll come in and they'll basically artificially inflate the price with some sort of trading strategy. Sometimes they use bots a lot of the time so that they can just be far more efficient with how they're trading. And it'll push the price up, A bunch of people will see it and go, this price, this coin's pumping. I'm going to get in. So they jump in and the price torpedoes down into the ground. So it's super risky. This whole process is incredibly risky. And you really just have to be careful. You have to be wary of that, make sure that you know that that's a possibility. Your timing on this basically has to be perfect if you're actually going to make money on it. Because sometimes literally minutes or even seconds can determine whether or not you're going to make a lot of money or lose a shit ton of money. I've seen some wild volatility in some of these low market cap coins. And it's like literally sometimes these things will double and then regress more within minutes. It's absolute madness. So you really have to be careful, and a lot of this is because of the shortage of liquidity. And basically what this means is that there isn't a lot of volume, right? Or there isn't a lot of tokens available, right? So if you have a trading pair, like let's say it's USD coin, and I'm just going to say shitcoin. Let's say shit. And let's say that so much of shitcoin is available on the exchange, and there's so much of USDC. If there isn't a lot of trading volume happening, if there isn't a lot of these exchanging hands, then it's going to be difficult to make a large buy or a large sell. So sometimes people do these incrementally. So basically, the point is, though, just when you're trading tokens with a limited circulation, it can be really challenging because you might be subject to high slippage. So slippage basically means if you go on an exchange like Uniswap, a lot of times you'll have to adjust because of the wild volatility in price. So if you go and try and make a buy on something like Ethereum, like the likelihood that the price is gonna move, greater than like 1% over the course of a couple minutes is pretty low. But on these other coins, that could happen very quickly. So sometimes you need to set a slippage rate of like 5 to 10%. And what this means is that basically you're telling the exchange that, like, I'd like to get it at this price, but if there's a fluctuation, either positive or negative, in the range of 5 to 10%, then go ahead and make the buy. So sometimes what will happen is people will set a low slippage, like if they set it to like 1%, the trade will just sit in the pool and it won't get executed because the price just is moving far too quickly, right? So you have to really be careful about how you're executing these trades, making sure that there's enough liquidity going on, and make sure that you're comfortable sometimes with accepting a 5 to 10% slippage rate, because sometimes you just have to. If you really want to buy something, you kind of have to subject yourself to that every once in a while. So basically, like I said, pump and dumps are the artificial inflation of these market caps, and they seek to benefit the people with the most money. Like, you can get lucky as a small investor and cash out at the top if you pick the right time, but the problem is it's really hard to know because these people are moving the markets, not really you, right? So the other thing that you have to be really careful about is what they call rug pulls. And rug pulls are essentially, a lot of these smaller projects come from unknown people. They're cobbled together really quickly. And sometimes what the developers will do is they'll build in like a backdoor in the smart contract that allows for them to basically abscond with all of the investor funds. Just basically steal them all and leave, and then just disappear off the face of the planet, right? So usually it's by the admin or the developers that create the actual coin, and this has happened a lot of times over the last several years. People just get, like I said, people get sucked in. They put in a bunch of money, the coin pumps, and then the developers will take it all and they'll just go. They'll just leave. And then they'll just disappear, and you have a dead project. So to give you an example, in December of last year, there was a company or a project called Compounder Finance, which, if you are familiar with compound finance, it sounds very similar, which is probably on purpose, right? This was basically a clone of some other protocols like Harvest and Yearn.finance. So I guess kind of like a decentralized aggregator. And they were operating for a little while, and basically in December of last year, after they had reached a certain threshold, the developers just stole the money and took off. And they made out with 750K wrapped Bitcoin, 4.8 million ETH, 5 million DAI, and more. So, they stole probably upwards of $10-15 million just by fucking taking it, because there was a backdoor built in that nobody had seen. So they basically snuck in this, they call it a call function, that allowed them to withdraw all the funds that had been deposited into their aggregators, right? So the scariest part about this is that this project was actually audited. And audits are a really popular thing in the space. So if you're trying to build a project and get people on board, get it funded, whatnot, then you typically request somebody to audit it so that they can check the smart contract, make sure that there's no like stuff like this, backdoors built in. But they didn't catch that because they were basically looking for external attack vectors. So basically ways to spam the network or spam the protocol in order to crash it or steal funds, something like that. But they weren't really looking for internal attack vectors, so they hadn't really checked to see if there was an internal way for the developers to basically just steal all that shit, right? So you have to be really careful. I'm not 100% certain. I was trying to do research to find out kind of like what the most reliable auditors are, but there's not really a whole lot of good information on there. I would say, if you are going to trust an audit, trust something from like Consensus or, Misari doesn't really do audits, but they do have like a registry of projects that they include, kind of like as a promise to be transparent and all this stuff. So that's a good gauge, but we'll talk more about that stuff later. But point is, like, just because a token says it's been audited by, whoever doesn't really mean a whole lot. They could also be paying off auditors to tell people that their project is solid and that nothing wrong is going to happen. So you have to be incredibly careful. So the other thing I want you guys to watch out for, there are a lot of projects these days that basically come out and say new yield farming protocol and deflationary token, right? Everybody loves the word deflationary token these days because Bitcoin is like kind of deflationary. But what these projects will say is they're like, oh, we burn X amount of the tokens every transaction, which is supposed to make it more scarce, right? Which would make the value of the token go up. But what are they going to use the token for? That's the problem, right? So a lot of these tokens have no utility. In other words, they don't do anything. They're just kind of built to exist, I guess. I don't know. Like, honestly, sometimes I wonder how people buy into this shit, because I'm just like, what does it do? Like, and at the end of the day, what it does is apparently just make you more money by holding it, which doesn't really make any sense. Like, that money has to come from somewhere, right? So whether it's a burn mechanism or a redistribution mechanism, some of these will say like, oh, every transaction will take X% of the transaction fee and redistribute it to the token holders, right? Well, first off, why do I have to pay a fee on every transaction now that everybody else is going to benefit from? I mean, I guess that's kind of interesting, but like, I'm not going to use that as a cash token. I just don't see any of these like, that would be to me the only actual use case for these is like as a cash, like a digital transaction token. It's like, why would I do that when there are people already building those things on Ethereum or other project, So I just be careful. Like, these are just kind of some terms that I think are really scary. So though basically they're luring people in because they're promising rewards, right? So it's like, yeah, come buy our token. When you hold it, you're going to keep making more of the token as you hold it, and then the price is going to go up and you're making a shit ton of money, right? So just exercise extreme caution. Like I said, I don't think a lot of the cash coins are really promising. And especially meme coins. I just don't get it. Buying shit like Grumpy Cat or Hoj, like, it's funny, I get it, it's fun. And you can make some big profits. But like, what is it gonna do at the end of the day? Probably nothing, right? So, that's kind of as far as meme coins go for me. And they're easy to duplicate too. This is kind of one of the other scary parts. Is like, sometimes I see stuff on there's a we're gonna talk about it later, but a subreddit called Crypto Moonshots, and it's like, oh, it just came out 3 days ago. I'm like, that's not a good thing. Like, I nobody's ever heard of this until 3 days ago, and we want to put shit ton of money in it. Like, not sure. And like I said, they're easy to duplicate. I'm not 100% sure on this, but based on what I've seen, you can make a coin like this for like $100, and then just get people to buy it. So that happens a lot in this space, right? So how do we know if they're legit? That's like kind of the crux of all of this. So we'll say legitness. So how do we know if it's legit? It's hard. It's hard to block out all that noise, and there are tons of people out there just shilling the fuck out of their favorite project. Crypto influencers are notorious for this. That's why I hate most of them. They'll go on fucking TikTok or some shit. Oh, check out this next coin. It's gonna be huge. Guaranteed 100x on your investment. And then of course they'll do that stupid shit where like, well, in order to get it, you got to subscribe to my thing, and then get in the private channel, and we'll tell you what coin. Fuck all that. Do your research. That's really what it comes down to. How do you know if it's legit? fucking do your research, right? So I gotta rewrite that because it looks horrible. It still doesn't look so good, but whatever. So there's a couple ways for you to do your research that I'm going to tell you about. First one, and honestly probably the most important, read the white paper. If there is no white paper, run. White paper is very important. This is basically a document that outlines basically the entire plan for the project. What is it supposed to do? Why did they make it? What's the technology behind it? You can kind of learn everything that you need to know via the white paper. Now, let me be perfectly clear. People can make a really good white paper and make it seem really good, and it can still be a scam. It can still be bullshit. But this is the first place to start, in my opinion. Right? Next, you want to take a look at the roadmap. And if they don't have a roadmap, probably just run away. Roadmap is basically an outline of how the project is going to evolve over the next year, 2 years, 3 years. So they typically have milestones, things they're trying to achieve by a certain quarter or month or something, and they'll say, okay, so these are the next things that we're going to try and accomplish. So take a look at the roadmap. Does it look like they're actually trying to accomplish solid goals? Are these tangible goals? Are they reasonable? Are they actually going to be able to hit these milestones within their reasonable objective times? Sometimes I'll go and I'll look at some of these projects and it's like, it'll have their roadmap, and the roadmap is like 3 months long, and it only dates back to like last month. I'm like, hello? Like, that's bullshit. Don't buy it, right? So roadmap is a pretty critical part of kind of examining whether or not it's realistic what they're trying to do, right? The next thing I think is really important to look at is the team. Who's building this shit? Are they real people? Have they been around a while? Do they have experience in this space, right? If they don't have a team listed on their website, again, probably just run away. There is a lot of anonymity in this space in some ways, but projects that are real and actually trying to accomplish something and actually, change something, they're going to put their name on it. And that's important. So a lot of times people have links to like LinkedIn. And obviously it's not incredibly easy to know how good somebody is at something, but if you go to their LinkedIn and they've got a fairly decent background in, I don't know, software engineering or something like that, at least you know that they actually maybe have some semblance of like what they're fucking supposed to be doing, right? So team is very important to me. And then also I think it's good to take a look at how the team interacts with the community. Are they active? Are they involved? Are they constantly updating the community and saying, this is where we're at, this is what we're trying to do? This is a really important part, because if the team is not around, if they're not accessible, fuck it, it's not worth, right? Another thing you can look at, and I'll show you guys how to do this later, is the number of holders. So how many people actually hold the token? Is there 100 people and the top 20 hold like 50% of the coins? You probably don't, you want out. You don't really want that, right? It's important to have a little bit of distribution. If the whales own too much of the protocol, too much of the project, too much of the coins, then it's scary because they can influence the price massively, right? Really substantially. So we talked about it earlier, but audits, if they have been audited by something, even if you don't know if the audit is legit, always take a look at what they find. Some of these auditors will give like a trust rating, so they might score it out of 100 and say like, oh, we think it's like 87% like good, right? Something like that. So always check out the actual audit, but also take a look at who is doing the audit. You want to make sure that you're getting it from a credible source and they didn't just pay somebody off to say that their project is solid, right? And then lastly, evaluate the source. Where are you hearing about this project? Who's telling you about it? If it's on Crypto Moonshots, sorry, I wrote that wrong. If it's on Crypto Moonshots, take a look at their posting history. Are they a shill? Do they just only post about this one token and are trying to get people to buy it? So go through people's account history, check out who they are. Just, there's so much bullshit going on in this space that it's an important part of the process. Where are you getting this from? So don't be fooled by a fancy website. Make sure you check out all these things. These are probably the most important part of figuring out whether or not you should make an investment or not, right? And if you don't want to invest in something legit, that's totally your prerogative, and I don't give a shit. But if you are trying to invest in something that you believe in, then these are the steps that you absolutely have to take, right? So let's talk about some examples of clear scams, or really just one big example. If you guys have heard of, or rather, I'm sure you guys have heard of the very popular project from a couple years ago, BitConnect. I'm sure you've seen the video, hey, of that guy. We're going to watch it after. But BitConnect was basically a multi-level marketing scheme slash Ponzi scheme. How people bought into this and how it got so big, I have no idea, because it's absolute fucking madness, right? So basically, this was a Ponzi scheme, and what BitConnect did, yes, what BitConnect did was they basically promised these insanely high daily interest payouts, right? So they basically said, come to our platform, deposit Bitcoin, and we're going to give you X amount of BitConnect coin, BCC, in exchange, right? In exchange for BTC. So basically what they said is, yeah, if you deposit Bitcoin onto our platform, we'll give you some of our token, and then your token is going to earn earn compounding interest every day. So they had a tiered interest rate model. So in other words, if you depending on how much money you deposited, determined your interest rate as well as like your lock-in period. So that was the other thing. They basically said if you invest $1,000, let's say, with us, then you can withdraw your initial investment after, let's say, a year. And over the course of that year, you're going to earn a absolute, totally insane 40% monthly return on your investment. And that, I don't know, anybody who saw that and was like, wow, that's really good, I'm going to buy that, probably not, maybe a little smooth brained up there, because that's ridiculous, right? That means that $1,000 over the course of 3 years would have become $50 million. It's completely unsustainable, right? So they basically promised all these people that they were going to make shit ton of money, and so many people bought in, like actually so many people bought in. And this model kind of relied on them constantly bringing new people in so that they could pay out their old investors who were trying to take their profits, right? So it required a constant stream of new people coming in. At their height, BitConnect coin had a $2.6 billion market cap. And I think it was in the top 20 back in 2017. And it went, I think it started trading at 17 cents. It ballooned all the way up to almost $500, maybe $400, something like that, $400 to $500, and then subsequently crashed way back down to 40 cents. And that was a bad time for a lot of people. They had all these promoters, all these people, all these like influencers that were like hard shilling the coin. And when shit hit the fan, they all disappeared, right? So they got a bunch of cease and desists from a couple different countries and areas and whatnot. And all their promoters disappeared. They deleted all their videos on YouTube, all their content. And eventually BitConnect announced that they were going to be shutting down their lending platform. And following that announcement, the price torpedoed into the ground by 96%. Like over the course of like a day. It just fucking disappeared, right? So they basically shut down and converted all of their users' funds to BitConnect coin, so they couldn't recoup their original Bitcoin, and then they just disappeared, right? So these kinds of things happen. It's crazy to me that this one got so out of control and so big, but you see some of the stuff that was like coming out for it, and people just were completely sold. It was like a cult, right? So check this out. So we're gonna watch the infamous BitConnect video.
Hey, hey, hey.
And this is just so crazy.
Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey.
I'm gonna open my new video with that.
What's up, BitConnect? Hey,
This
hey,
is
hey,
like a whole. I
everybody.
mean,
My
look at all
name is
these people. Look
Carlos
at like the
Matos, and I am coming from
conference.
New York City, New York. Let me tell you guys that I am so excited. I am so happy. I am really so thrilled to be right now sharing this amazing, glorious, super, and exciting moment of my life with all of you guys.
It's just so
And let me
bad.
tell you that we are really changing the world as we know it. The world is not anymore the way
Like imagine you're this man and you think you're changing the world right now.
it used to be. No, no, no.
No, no, no.
Be connect.
Sorry.
Wow. Be connect.
Blowing my eardrums out.
We are coming, and we are coming in waves. We are starting, and we are going to actually go all over the world. We are belting the entire world. Let me tell you guys that I started 137 days ago with only $25,610. And right now I am reaching $140,000. Whoa, 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 what's
Poor
up?
Carlos. Carlos lost it all.
And let me
I'm
tell
sure.
you that I am actually earning around around $1,400 on an everyday basis, 7 days a week. What?
Exactly. What? It's not real, buddy.
I am right now independently, financially independently. I am saying to so many people who said that this was going to be a con artist game, that this was going to be a scammer game. Hey, you're going to lose all your money. My wife still doesn't believe in me.
Oh
I'm telling him,
no,
well, honey,
Carlos.
this is real. No, 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 no. That's a scam. And I said, but wait, I'm going to go to the bank. I'm going to get my bitcoins. I'm going to actually put it into dollars. Here, they're right on the table. No, that's money that you took from another account. I'll say, what am I going to do? Then I said to myself, you know what? When I am starting to put $10,000 a day on her, right on her, on her table, then she's going to say, whoa! Yeah. Okay, that's real. So, guys, I want to tell you something. Faith and belief is the one thing that we all need to be able
Good fundamentals and a real project is what you
to
need.
change
Not just
the
faith
world.
and belief,
And
guys.
right now, I believe that in this room, we have the seed that's going to germinate and that's going to explode into an amazing opportunity for us to change this entire world. I am so proud, I am so honored, I am so excited to be here right now. And let
Look
me
at
tell
this
you
guy.
something that each and every one of you has the opportunity to become.
Oh, look at this
Like
guy.
those amazing people that we know here from Vietnam. Hey, my people from Vietnam. Making so much money that they can probably
It's like
have a
4
real
people
hard time
clapping.
counting it. So guys, let me tell you, I love Big Connect.
Yes! Thank you so much, Carlos.
Anyway, that's madness to me. That guy's clearly off his fucking rocker. And that stuff is just incredibly scary and kind of dangerous. So yeah, don't just be smarter. Be better than Carlos. Because I'm sure Carlos lost it all, and that's really sad. I mean, maybe he is on some meth. I wouldn't be surprised, right? Okay, so let's move on. Next thing, really quick. So I mentioned it earlier, but crypto moonshots, really popular subreddit for basically talking about super low market cap coins, coins that can potentially moon, right? So they basically list different low cap coins, talk about what they're trying to do, what the point is, what type of thing it is. A lot of the ones that you'll see on crypto moonshots are these yield farming, deflationary tokens. So really be careful. But some of the projects are legit. Some of them are just really highlighting projects that are small and actually have good use case and are actually trying to do something interesting. So, um, they're not all garbage, but a majority of them are. You must know the difference. And how do you know the difference? What we talked about earlier. Do your fucking research, man. Um, you know, find out what it's trying to do. Find out who the team behind it is. Read the white paper. And don't get fooled, because sometimes on crypto moonshots, like a lot of these people are just paid shills or they're bot accounts, stuff like that. So, sometimes you'll see a post and it'll have a shit ton of awards. Doesn't mean anything. The only thing that means anything is what we talked: the white paper, the team, the roadmap. Those things actually matter. Don't just get fucking sucked in because it's too, it's too, it's super. It looks like it's super hyped, right? So another thing that I see all the time: this just came out a few days ago. Get in now. Only fucking 200 holders. That is not a good sign to me. That's a bad sign to me. I don't want a project that just fucking launched 3 days ago and we're trying to push it into the millions of dollars. Give me something that actually is, they've been working on it for a while. The problem is sometimes what like these projects will do is like they'll launch their coin and like just instantly be out there. Like that'll be like launching the coin as the launch of the company. Shouldn't work that way. Build a product, find out what your product is going to be, get to a point where you're ready to do some sort of public offering, then launch your coin once you already have a product or at least a MVP, something like that, right? So let's take a look at crypto moonshots together. I actually just most of the rest of the episode is me going to be kind of going through different tools and stuff for you guys to use to help educate yourself. So let's get to the other tab here. Oh shit. Okay, sorry, hold on. Okay, so first thing we're going to look at is something called CoinMarketCap, which I'm sure many of you are already familiar with. CoinMarketCap is basically, it's there's a lot of tools to do this, but it's the list of all the market cap of all the coins in the cryptocurrency universe, right? So this is not just Ethereum based stuff, or Bitcoin based stuff, it's everything. So you can go through here, you can check out what projects are on the rise, who's not doing so hot, stuff like that, how much they're currently worth. The market cap is very important. So I think one thing that people get really fucked up by is they'll see the price. So like let's look at fucking I don't know, XRP or Cardano here, right? It's only $1.20. It's a great time to get in. No, bad. Not a good time to get in. Just because it's $1.28 doesn't mean that it has the potential for huge gains. Look at the market cap. It's already worth $38 billion. And these guys don't even have fucking working products. There's no dApps that are currently on Cardano. I'm not going to say that Cardano is going to be bad. I'm just saying right now, though, it's severely overvalued, considering nobody's actually building anything on it. Or at least there's nothing working on it right now. So... So take a look at the market cap when you're calculating, your moonshot. It's not just about the price of the token because it's also about the circulation. So yes, the token is only worth $1.20, but there are, let's see here, 32 billion of them in existence, whereas Bitcoin only has 18.6 million in circulation currently. It will be 21 million eventually, but that's why the price is higher because it's more scarce, right? So different tokens have different supplies. You can see here. DOT has almost 1 billion tokens in circulations. XRP has even more, 45 billion. So you really have to be conscious of how many tokens are in circulation, what the market cap is, and then you can talk about what the current price is. The reality is you can purchase percentages of all this stuff, so it doesn't really matter whether you can buy a whole one or not, right? Can you give an example of coins with utility like ETH? Sure. So, let's see. I don't know, pick one here. What do I want to talk about? I mean, there are other layer ones. So, like, these have utility. Polkadot will have utility. Cardano may have utility because they're going to be a layer 1 blockchain, their smart contract platform, right? Or you can take a project like Uniswap. This is an ERC20 token built on Ethereum that actually does stuff. Right now, it's only for governance, so you're kind of functions more of like a stock, a security token, than something that is necessary to power the platform. But that might change. I think long term, what will happen is Uniswap holders are going to be basically earning by holding Uniswap via trading fees, right? So Uniswap is a good example of a token that has at least some utility. It's a governance token. It's stock. You can vote on proposals and actually issue proposals as well, depending on how much Uniswap you own. So that's the biggest utility in Uniswap. There are other projects too that do different things. So always be conscious of what the actual project does. Same thing with Aave. I think it's a governance token, and I think that's how a lot of these tokens will start, is as governance tokens. But if it's a cash coin, something like that, like I don't really care. The other thing that you can look at is CoinGecko. It's similar to CoinMarketCap. It's can basically check out risers and fallers, stuff like that. But it has usually a little bit more information. It'll show you a little bit more about it. And you can also search. I think you can check things out. By the ecosystem. So you can look at DeFi. They have their own DeFi section, NFTs, who's rising and falling in NFTs. And then you can also kind of see community metrics. How are people feeling about it? Stuff like that. And they also have some more in-depth stats about their social. How many followers do they have? Where is their conversation living? Is it on Twitter? Is it on Telegram? Stuff like that. So these things can be really important research tools to find out whether or not you think it's going to be a worthy investment. Messari is a fantastic tool. You can also do things like that, like the other two, and look at price, look at risers and fallers, stuff like that. But the core of what's good about Messari is their research. A lot of it is paid, I will say, so you may have to pay a subscription fee if you want to read everything. But they also do some free pieces, and if you subscribe to their newsletter, sometimes you can read the pieces that are locked because they'll just put them in the email. But these guys are awesome. This is probably my favorite research source currently. I do have a friend that works for Messari, and he's a great writer. His name's Mason. So if you ever see Mason Nystrom out there, he's a good friend of mine. But these guys research. This is their job. These guys are analysts. All they do is research the ecosystem and write about it. So these guys have a really, really solid understanding of why things are valuable, what the technology does, and are typically going to give you a really fair shake on whether or not it's a worthy investment, right? They're not going to tell you what to do, but they will give you all the information you need. So definitely check out Messari if you want to learn more about crypto or certain projects, stuff like that. They also have a registry. So certain projects will join the registry and basically say that's their commitment to being a transparent and open project, right? Another tool that you can use, this is particularly useful if you're looking at actual shitcoins. It's called Dex Tools. So some of these coins won't have a actual place where you can track the price real time. So sometimes you go on Dex Tools and you can find kind of a live ticker for the particular coin you're looking at. So let's say it's Grumpy Cat coin. Grumpy's not doing so hot as far as I know. But this will give you a little bit more like a live ticker, kind of like if you're looking at an exchange like Coinbase, right? If you are looking to buy shitcoins, a lot of people buy them on Uniswap. So Uniswap is a really popular decentralized exchange. You do need a crypto wallet like MetaMask to use it in your browser, but you can perform a couple different things. You can swap your tokens. So a lot of times what will happen is they have these officially listed tokens. So these are tokens that people have added and paid for to be listed on the platform, but there are also other ones. So you can swap any token on Uniswap, but it is more dangerous to swap these low cap coins because they're not officially listed. So you'll see here, you'll get an alert. Say anyone can create and name an ERC20 token on Ethereum, including fake versions of existing tokens that claim to represent the real ones, right? So you have to be careful and make sure that you're interacting with the right smart contract that's actually holding the tokens. And just be sure that you're actually trading for the right token. You're not buying some one that's supposed to look like another, and then you end up getting scammed, right? So Uniswap is a really popular tool to trade these kinds of tokens because it's completely open. It's an open marketplace. Whoa, look at the liquidity. What's going on? Sorry. That doesn't seem right. Something must have happened. That's a lot. It's like a huge jump really fast. I don't know. Maybe that's just because of the price of ETH. Anywho, so that's Uniswap. Next thing we're going to look at is Etherscan. So Etherscan is what they call Blockchain Explorer. Basically, it allows you to query and check on every transaction that's taking place on the Ethereum blockchain. So check this out. We'll go to the homepage real quick. These are the latest blocks that are being mined, and these are the latest transactions. These are all the transactions that exist on the Ethereum ledger. We remember, early on we talked about that, blockchain is essentially a decentralized ledger. This is the ledger. This is exactly what it is. This is just a list of transactions that are taking place. It says who's sending money to who, how much they're sending, what those tokens are, stuff like that. So you can use Etherscan in a couple different ways. Particularly if you want to check on your own transactions, you can just look up your address and you will get a full list of every transaction that you've made with that address, as well as how much you hold, stuff like that. So it's all publicly available. Although your name isn't necessarily on it, right? So like if we were to check, I know I'm not gonna look at mine, but so that's how you would do that. But a really popular way to kind of check out how some of these early projects are doing is to go in and kind of see, all right, how many holders are there? How many transfers are taking place? Is this the right smart contract? Stuff like that. So, looking at Uniswap, this is a very popular project. 201 holders, or 201,000 holders. So there's a lot of people holding Uniswap. I'd say that's a pretty fair sign that this is a reputable project, and that, there's still good opportunity to get involved, right? But you can look at something even way smaller, like Vidya. Vidya's, I think it's a game token that's been talking about a lot on Crypto Moonshots, and I do know that they are actually building stuff. I haven't invested in this just to be transparent, but I do think it's interesting. But you can look here. Sometimes people like to get in with projects that have not a lot of holders. So 22 holders, not a lot, especially compared to something like Uniswap. I mean, that's a fraction of what's happening there. So some people might see this and say this is a great opportunity to get involved. Fully diluted market cap, 15 million. It's kind of a lot, but it's still pretty small compared to a lot of the other projects in this space. So hey, you might see all this stuff and say that's a good investment. But I always think it's a really valuable opportunity to go and actually look at these stats and see whether or not this stuff is a little sketchy or not, right? So there's another website that I was recently made aware of called Token Sniffer, and these guys basically list clear scams. They basically go out and they check out these trending tokens, what's happening, and then they'll say what the latest scams are, and they'll list them here. So if you are thinking about investing in a coin, just hop on here, Google it, or do Control F, or you can just search for the token name here and just see if it's actually legit. Look at this Ecomi. My friend was telling me about this coin yesterday, and it's here. So now I know I'm not investing in Ecomi. So that's really important. So those are some tools that could be really helpful. If you guys want me to, I can post them in the Discord or something like that. If you guys want to join the Discord, link is in the info panel below. But make sure that you leverage these tools to make sure that you're not going to get screwed, right? I don't want anybody losing money, and I know that you guys don't want to be losing money either. So, so to sum up, sorry, 1 second, I gotta find my thing here. All right. So to sum up, these are the things that just you should watch out for. So be careful, first off. Like I've been saying, just be careful. Use your good judgment. If it looks like a scam, it probably is. Understand what you're getting yourself into. This is gambling in a lot of ways. Yes, you can make conscious decisions as an investor and do all your research, but you still need to understand what you're getting yourself into. Understand that you could potentially lose all your money overnight or in a couple seconds or in a couple minutes, right? Don't ape in. Don't ape into anything unless you're willing to make money. To lose money. Use money that you can afford to lose. Don't fucking spend your life savings. Don't be like that guy that my cousin told me about, who invested his entire life savings, which was 44 Ethereum, into Grumpy Cat, and then watched it plummet into the fucking gutter. Don't do that. Be smart. If you want to fucking take a gamble on a low market cap coin and see if you can, fucking hit a home run and get really lucky, use a reasonable amount of money. Not your life savings, right? BYOR. Do your own research. Everybody wants to ask me what to buy. I don't want to tell you what to buy. I want to show you how to find out what to buy, right? So just be conscious of what you're looking at. Check out those things we talked about earlier. White paper, roadmap. Who's the team? Who's the source posting behind it? Are they a paid shill? Just be smarter, right? Another recommendation, diversify. This kind of goes in tandem with don't ape in. If you do want to invest in something that's fucking a total gamble, also invest in reliable projects. Obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum are also volatile, but in comparison, those are stable as fuck. So, just make sure you have a good portion of your portfolio and things that you count on to appreciate over time, and not, get rich quick, right? So if you really want to gamble on a low cap coin, fucking go ahead. Just make sure that you only allocate a small portion of your holdings. I would say probably not more than like 5 or 10% at the most. So just be careful. This is a scary space, and it's definitely easy to buy into bullshit, right? So that is pretty much all I got for you guys today. The whole point of this is really just to tell you guys to be smarter, be better, to do your research. I know it's work and it sucks, and I want to ape in. And if you do want to ape in, if you don't want to fucking do your research, again, just make sure you're not doing it with a shit ton of money, something that you can afford to lose. It's like imagine you're going to Vegas and you're just gonna fucking throw some money in the slot machine and see what happens. That's okay. Just be aware that that's what you're doing, right? You're not investing in some long-term project that is gonna, make you a shit ton of money over the course of the next 5 or 10 years. If you want to try and make money in a week, that's fine. Just know that that's what you're doing, right? So thank you guys all for watching today. I really appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, follow, all that stuff. You guys can go check me out on YouTube. I post all the VODs of these here. I also am on Spotify and anywhere else you can listen to podcasts. Be sure to check the info panel below. Follow me on Twitter and all that good stuff. And I will be sticking around to hang for a little bit. But I do have to go pretty early today. I got some work that I got to take care of for school. And thank you everybody. Just thank you all for coming again. I appreciate it so much, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Please enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you next Saturday. Thank you guys.